This is Abe Lincoln at Last, number 19, chapter 10. And this one's called Reading and Writing. We don't mind, said Annie. Annie, said Jack. But Sam opened the speller and handed it to Annie. Parts the speech, he said. Okay, Annie said. What is a conjunction? Hey, you know what a conjunction is?
It like groups two or more words together.
Like what?
Like and but.
Yep. Sam bit his lip. Let's see. A conjunction is a part of speech that joins words and sentences together. Good job. Some conjunctions are and, but, and because. Perfect, said Annie. Yes, perfect, said Jack. Here's an example. Jack wants to leave, but Annie is ignoring him. Good example, said Annie. What is an interjection? She asked Sam. You know what an interjection is? It has, I'll give you a hint. It has an exclamation mark with
it. Like an exclamatory sentence, sort of?
Yeah, that's a part of speech that expresses a sudden passion of the mind, said Sam, such as, alas, or ah. That's weird. Good, said Annie, laughing, except Jack and I don't use interjections like those. We express a lot of passion of the mind by saying things like, oh man, or oh wow, or whoa. Yes, that's right, said Jack, glaring at Annie. Like, oh man, time is running out. Or, oh wow, the sun is going down. Or, whoa, we have a mission to complete. Annie laughed again. Right, that's how we use our interjections, she said to Sam. What else is in your book? Spelling and grammar rules, said Sam, and quotes from the Bible and fables. Cool, said Annie. You know what a fable is?
Like a parable, sort of?
Something like that. Good, or something, a lesson. Learned a lesson, right? Yeah. Sam closed his speller. I only wish I had more books, he said. Anyone who'll give me a book is my best friend. I'll walk miles to borrow it. Jack would too, said Annie. And Jack and I both love to write too, don't we? She looked at Jack. Yes, we do, said Jack, sighing. Oh, I do too, said Sam. Neither my pa nor ma ever learned to write, but I love it. I write words in the dust or in the sand or even in the snow. I write them in the dirt floor with a stick. Sam laughed. Jack couldn't help smiling. Why, I write on wooden shelves with charcoal. Sam leaned forward and said in a hushed voice, but the best thing in the world to write with is my quill pen and my blackberry ink. Sam's face glowed in the firelight. Oh, wow, you do love to write, said Jack. So do I. Jack forgot about Abraham Lincoln for the moment. I love to make up my own stories. Sam smiled. Me too, he said. And now I want to tell you all a good one. I meant to tell you this before, but I got kicked in the head before I could. Kind of famous for playing pranks on folks. But the two of you don't deserve... Suddenly noises came from outside. Rumbling and neighing. What's that? Said Annie. Sam froze. Then he turned to Jack and Annie, his eyes wide. A wagon, he said. He jumped up and rushed to the entrance of the cabin and pushed aside the bearskin. Pa! Sam shouted, and he disappeared outside. His dad's back? Said Annie. She and Jack hurried to the doorway and peeked out. 4 horses were pulling a wagon through the cold dusk. The rickety wagon was filled with kids and furniture. What does it mean to be rickety?
Like wobbly and about to fall apart.
Good. They watched as Sam ran towards the wagon, and the driver pulled the horses to a halt. Sam's pa jumped down from his bench and threw his arms around Sam. They hugged for a long time. Then a woman stepped down from the driver's bench. 3 children scrambled down from the back. They stood smiling and giggling beside her. Son, I want you to meet my wife and your new ma from Kentucky, Sam's pa said. And these are her children and your new sisters and brother, Elizabeth, Matilda, and John. Each kid said howdy in turn. Howdy, son, Sam's new ma said. I've so looked forward to meeting you. Thomas is awful proud of you and your sister. He says you're a good reader and a good writer. We hear you're a good wood chopper, too, said the boy named John. And you like to tell stories, said the girl named Elizabeth. And play pranks, said the girl named Matilda. We brought you some books, John piped up. And a feather mattress, said Elizabeth. And a washstand and some soap, said Matilda. Come look. The children grabbed Sam. He laughed as they pulled him towards the wagon and started showing him all the things they'd hauled from Kentucky. Jack smiled. Sam wouldn't be sad or lonely anymore, he thought. It made him feel happy to see such a good thing happen to Sam. "Let's slip outside and hide in the shed," Jack said to Annie, "so we don't have to explain where we came from." And there's a picture of the wagon showing up with the rest of Sam's new family, his new brothers and sisters. Jack and Annie pushed past the bearskin into the shadows of twilight. They crept into the cowshed and peeked out. "Pa!" someone shouted. "Pa!" Across the clearing, a girl came running. She wore a black cape with a hood. Who do you think she might be?
His sister Sarah.
Mm-hmm. "Sarah, my girl!" Sam and Sarah's father rushed forward and threw his arms around his daughter. Sarah started sobbing. What does sobbing mean?
Like crying.
Mm-hmm. Her father hugged her. "Don't cry, girl," he said. "I brought you a whole new family. We'll all take good care of each other now. Come on, let's go in and you can meet everyone. You'll love them all, Sarah, I promise. I give you my word." As everyone headed into the cabin, Matilda exclaimed, "My goodness, you built this by hand?" "What a wonderful job you did," said Sam's new ma. "It's going to get better," said Sam's pa. "We're going to make a real door, aren't we, boys? And I'll make a real floor with wood, patch the roof, and put mud in the chinks between the logs." "Yes, sir," said Sam and John together. Thomas held the bearskin for his wife and all the children. Then he followed them inside. Jack and Annie could hear the sounds of happy conversation coming from the cabin. "Wow, what a day to be with Sam, huh?" Annie said to Jack. "Really," said Jack. "But what should we do now?" "I don't know," said Annie. "I think Sam forgot us in all the excitement." "Like when Tad forgot me under the bed in the White House," said Jack. "Jack! Annie!" Sam came running out of the cabin, calling to them in the fading light. "He didn't forget us," said Annie. She and Jack stepped out of the cowshed. "We're here," Annie called. "I want to give you something," said Sam. He held up a quill pen and a small bottle. "I told you about these. The pen's made from the feather of a goose, and the ink's from the roots of a blackberry bush. I want you to have them." "Oh, no, Sam," said Jack. "You keep them. You need them more." "Take them," said Sam. "I want to thank you for staying by me when I was feeling poorly and for trying to do my chores. Your kindness truly helped me." "But we didn't do any chores, not one," said Annie. "You tried, though," said Sam. "And most important, you both love what I love most, reading and writing. Please." Sam handed Jack the quill pen and the ink bottle. "Use them to write something special." "We will," said Annie. "I can carry them, Jack." He handed her Sam's treasures, and she put them into her apron pocket. "Thank you." "You're welcome," said Sam. "And what I was going to tell you is—" "Yes," Jack started, but before Jack could finish, a whoosh and a roar shook the earth like a speeding train passing by. The ground opened, and Jack felt as if he were falling through space, through a tunnel, down through blackness, into a world of daylight. And there's the picture of Sam giving Jack the quill and the ink. And that's the end of chapter 10.